Well, hello everybody, welcome to Whelp. Today's topic of discussion is movie remakes. I guess any kind of remake, but specifically movie remakes. Here's my question. Because I don't think remakes are bad. Like, I'm not afraid of them remaking the thing that I loved from when I was a kid. Like, go for it. I have taken the position in my golden years that go for it. Kids aren't gonna want to watch The Never-Ending Story from the 80s. It's by their standards, by the way their brains are built, by the way they consume media. I get it. It's old and clunky and boring, and they're not into it, and that's okay. I love it. I go back to it all the time. It is a critical cornerstone of the pop culture I grew up with. They don't want it, they don't like it, and that's okay. But here's my real question. Because obviously there's remaking something, to speak to a modern day audience. And I totally get that. And I think that's a valid, with some stuff, I think that's valid. I think some things are timeless. I think some things can be used to speak, the language of this generation, or, I get it. But again, here's my real question. And sorry, welcome to my brain. Welcome to the way that I talk about things, the way that I think about things. I'll go for a long walk to get to the original thing that I was trying to say that I probably should have got to in 15 seconds. But here's what I was thinking. If you love a book, and I thought of this with the, now I forget the name of the movie. The Ryan Gosling's in it. He's got a rock that is his buddy. My point is everybody was like, this better be faithful to the book. I love the book. It better be faithful to the book. So that, I kind of pulled a little far into the crosswalk. And I got a dirty look from a cyclist, which wasn't entirely unfair. Okay, I'll be able to go after this guy. But here's my question. If you love a book and they make a movie, do you want that movie to just be a 100% faithful adaptation of the book into movie form? Because to play devil's advocate, why would you need a movie then? I think if you're gonna adapt something, or you're gonna remake a movie from 30 years ago, I would think the reason to do it would be to try something different with it, to come at it from a different perspective, from a different artist's vision and style. I would assume that's the point. I'm a person who defends and has always defended, not just when it's, popular opinion, but I have from day one defended the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo Mario Brothers movie. I like that it is a wildly different interpretation of the core of the source material. That movie keeps very little of the source material, and for me that was the fun of it. And it was always, even when I was a kid, that was the fun of it. I don't know as a kid if I would have eaten up just a 1-to-1 translation of Super Mario Brothers to the big screen. I think it would back then it would have had to have been like a big budget, Disney-esque or Don Bluth-esque animated film. I don't know if I would have been as into that. I really always loved the weird grit and grime and the way that it wove, mostly superficially, names and elements from the video games. Because also, you may not, recognize this looking at me, because I look incredibly smart. I look very bookish, as some say. Some have also said I have a very punchable face. So I guess you can't always go by what the word on the street. But what was I saying? Nope, I think it might be gone. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was not a kid that read instruction manuals. So Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, Super Mario World for the SNES. This is the era that we existed in at that time. I never read any of the stories in any of those instruction manuals. So I had I have no concept at that time, early 90s, early, 10-year-old Brian had no concept of like the deep lore of Super Mario Brothers. All I really had was the names of the creatures and the names of the main characters. And so to me, it was like, it was already surface level. So they kept surface level elements and then built this bizarre, sort of mild cyberpunk dystopian weird dinosaur world. I was all for it. So that is my question I pose to you. If you are somebody that wants, if you're only happy with a remake, if it is a one-to-one translation of the original, then what would be the purpose of even doing it? And is that what you want? And like, I kind of think if I was like a big fan of a book series, I would be curious going in if it were, or not curious, but I don't know that I would be, I think I would be more excited sort of saying like, I know what happens in the books, but we're going to treat that as like some sort of parallel universe. And maybe the movies get to explore different paths. Like, what if this character dies? And then things move forward with the butterfly effect of that character dying, or, things. I want to be surprised. I want the unexpected when I go see a movie, and I feel like a one-to-one translation means there are no surprises for those people. They're going in knowing exactly what's going to happen to every character. They're going to know everything that happens in this movie, and they are also watching this movie knowing what happens in every book that follows. So in theory, they know everything that happens in every movie to come. Is that fun? Is that interesting? Is that challenging? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I fall in the camp of, if you're gonna do a remake or an adaptation, like, give it to somebody with a distinct, vision that maybe contrasts to the source material. See what somebody very different might do with that story. Because ultimately, I just want to be told a story and be engaged. And if I've seen the original movie, or I've read the book that a movie's based on, I'm a little bored because I've heard this story before. So either you gotta play up parts that the first time I heard the story or was told the story maybe didn't explore, or minimized, or left out, or whatever. Or a different kind of storyteller that could tell maybe a more straightforward story, maybe tell it to me in a little bit more bombastic way, or like whatever. I just think I want remakes to get the Super Mario Brothers treatment. And this isn't a knock on like the new Super Mario movies. I guess I watched part of the first one, but I couldn't hear it. So I looked at part of the first one. It's no knock against those. Those are just like basically one-to-one translations. And I think, and they're for little kids. And I also recognize that not everything is for me. Not every kids movie coming out should be for a 45-year-old adult. It's a good thing that they're not making these movies for me. It's appropriate that they're not making these movies for me. I'm just saying, if it was up to me, if studios were making movies with my demographic in mind, I want more like weird swings. I want more like kids properties that get a cyberpunk, dinosaur parallel dimension take. I think that's fun. And I'm tempted to just ramble endlessly because I'm already starting to make the same points again and again. So I'm going to stop myself, which I think is also appropriate. You got to know when to say when. Unfortunately, that is one of the main features of my brain, is that when to say when button is permanently broken. So yeah, I'm gonna say when now. Thank you, everybody. I would love to hear your take. Tell me some movies. Mostly I talked about obviously the Super Mario Brothers movie, but there's a lot of examples. Either The Thing, I was wrapping it up and I started talking about other stuff. It's fine. Look, please get in those comments. Get all up in those comments and tell me about movie remakes. Tell me about the remakes that you have loved. Tell me about adaptations. Tell me about a book that you loved and then you saw the movie. What did you want? When you went into that movie, what did you want? And if you just wanted a straight adaptation and that's what you got, was it good? Was it satisfying to like just see the thing that was in your imagination and just see it on the big screen? Or do you want something different? Do you want to be surprised? That is the question I will leave you with, and I hope to hear from you soon. And we can continue this conversation. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and I appreciate you all being patient with my long absences recently. A lot of it has come down to work and just being physically and mentally exhausted from a lot of work. But yeah, so thank you, everybody, for always sticking in there. And I always know when I post a video, I always got my my regulars, my hardcore, my ride or dies, who always hop in and say hi, and it's a really nice thing to have been doing this for so long, and just sort of the the Wizard of Oz ragtag crew that has slowly assembled surrounding this channel is really cool and fun, and it's always warms my heart. See, if you say something genuinely vulnerable, you have to say it in an accent, and then it makes it, and then it's like you're just goofing around. So it's a form of a wall that you're putting up. So that's you, not me. I don't do stuff like that. Anyway, thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and I will talk to you all next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.